My next guest, well, sometimes we call him the Hammersmith Bomber, sometimes we call him the Hammersmith Warrior. He's from Hammersmith, you're getting the idea. Now, in his ninth fight at the tender age of 22, he managed to win the Commonwealth Super Middleweight title from a real veteran, Charles Adama, a guy who'd been to the Olympics, a guy who'd fought here. He was a good quality guy. Anyway, this kid did a job on him. His name's George Groves, and for his next fight, that was only in April, for his next fight, he's travelling out to Las Vegas to be one of the featured fighters on a brilliant undercard for a brilliant top of the bill at Mandalay Bay on the 31st of this month. It's George Groves, and I'm delighted to say that I caught up with him earlier on, and I started, as I always do, by asking him, was he looking forward to going to Las Vegas?
Now the flights are booked, training's well on its way, and in less than 2 weeks now I'll be flying out to Vegas for my American debut.
And it's not a bad undercard to fight on, is it?
No, it's really exciting. There's going to be some top cracking fights on there, obviously with Marquez Diaz rematch, which everyone wants to see anyway. But
yeah, first fight was rubbish anyway.
There's a few other super middleweight prospects out there as well, boxing on the same show, and so it'd be nice to get in amongst those guys and let them know that they're not going to have it all their own way in years to come.
And that's what it's about, really, George. It's about putting down a bit of a marker. It's no good being one of the big boys here, you know, and there's some fantastic domestic fights. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you're putting down an early marker, something that Chris Eubank, a guest on the show last week, talked about being fantastic. He said that British boxers need to fight in America, on certainly on big undercards.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the fact of letting the American people see you, it's getting out there and experience their culture of boxing, that they're different fighters, they're great fighters. So if you can get out there and mix it with them earlier on in your career, it's going to stand you in good stead for the future. And at my weight, you know, the American fighters are probably the best. They're the ones that are going to be here in years to come with Darrell and Ward and that. So, you know, I want to get out there and get as much experience as possible, as early as possible.
And also some of the middleweights coming up. Now, one of the guys that's making a bit of a name for himself out there, he's not an American, he's a Canadian, this guy David Lemieux, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Now, he actually fought the guy you're fighting, this guy Alfredo Contreras, and he fought him as well. Now, he did him in 2 rounds. Somewhere in the back of your mind, George, have you put a little bit of pressure on yourself to do it better?
Well, yeah, I mean, I never look at results quite that point blank.
Sure.
You know, we like to take our time and do it correctly, and we're not going out there to blast people out as quickly as possible. If it comes, it comes, and no doubt a stoppage will come.
Sure.
What round? I'm not bothered. I'm going all that way. It'd be nice to get a few rounds under my belt as well.
Yeah. In a big atmosphere as well.
Exactly, yeah. Boxing at Mandalay Bay. I've stayed there and watched boxing at MGM, but I've never seen boxing there, and I'm looking forward to it, because if it's anything like at the MGM, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, people often say, it's going to be, you know, these Brits are going to be on early, there won't be any TV, there won't be any atmosphere. And let me tell you something, it doesn't matter if you walk out, there's only 1,000 people inside a 17,000 seat stadium. You're in Las Vegas, you've been there for a week, it's a big fight, it's big in your heart.
Exactly, and in Vegas, everyone's a boxing fan.
That's the truth.
Have to get in, or you know, anyone you talk to in the street, they've got probably a better boxing knowledge than I do, and I'm supposed to be the man in the thick of it. HBO are going to cover my fight. They're going to be televised out there.
Fantastic.
Sky obviously are going to show it over here, so I'm going to get great publicity from it and great exposure, and that's obviously just as important to me at this stage as well.
Well, you can't ask for any more than that. That's absolutely for sure, George. Now, tell me, is Adams going with you? Is David going out as well? Because I know that you've travelled all around with him. Is he returning a favour, going out, carrying your gum shield?
Oh, he definitely is. Him like me would never miss an opportunity for a Vegas weekend. He'll be out there for the fight. Yeah, he'll be carrying the bucket. And
David Hay in charge of the bucket.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to be, as long as he doesn't steal too much limelight from me, I'll be happy. Yeah,
that's the truth. Yeah, as long as he doesn't steal too much from you. Now listen, Dave can go anonymous, you know that. He can suddenly, he drops his shoulders and he can float with the crowd. Now let me ask you this, Giorgio. This is an important fight. This is a big Vegas fight. It's going to be on HBO. Sky are going to show it this end, and it means a lot. It's big to you. You've got to get used to it. But this October, November, December, things should start to get serious for you, shouldn't you? I know you're still only a baby in boxing years, George, but there's some fantastic fights out there for you in Britain and Europe.
exactly. Yeah, I plan to have be out in early October in London on my own show.
Yep.
You know, it'll either be a defence of my Commonwealth, or if I can get anything better, you know, I'll take it. I want that fight with Paul Smith. I want that British title fight.
Sure. So do lots of people. You've got to fight people to get that fight at the moment.
I'm, you know, they've got. I hope to be mandatory for that fight. I believe I should be. I don't think there's anyone who's in front of me in that respect, because I know that him and his mob won't give it to me for nothing. They've clearly made that clear by not saying or hearing anything from them. So, you know, but with everything that's in the pipeline, nothing's too far out of reach. Steve, you know that.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Obviously, Brian McGee's there with the European title. That could be a fight in the next 6 to 12 months. And then once I beat that man, then you know, there's only one stop left on the train, and that's world titles.
Yeah. And then there's some fantastic domestic action. Maybe not this year, certainly not this year. Maybe not even next year, but in 2012. You know what, they say the Olympics are going to be good in 2012. I think the British super middleweights might be better, George.
Yeah, they might be. If everyone stays at super middleweight like they said they would, they don't start. As soon as it gets into the thick of it, start jumping up and down the weight classes. If they stay where I am, we'll have some fantastic fights in the future.
We certainly will. Listen, George, enjoy yourself in don't enjoy yourself. Take it seriously, then enjoy yourself in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I will, don't worry.
Make sure you don't do any buying if David's around. He's made a few quid the last 12 months. Make sure he puts his hand in his pocket.
Okay, I'll tell him and pass it on.
All right, listen, George, thanks very much. Great to speak to you. Good luck in Las Vegas. We'll speak to you in October-ish.
Wicked. Nice one, Steve. Take care, mate.
Heavy